Jesus' promise to give believers the power to do anything is a profound and empowering concept that has been a cornerstone of Christian faith for centuries. This promise is rooted in Jesus' own words, as recorded in the Bible, where he says, "I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Mark 11:24. And if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. John 15:7. These verses, among others, convey the idea that Jesus is a limitless source of power and potential, and that he desires to empower his followers to achieve great things. To tap into this power, one must first have a deep and abiding faith in Jesus. This means trusting in his goodness, his love, and his sovereignty over all things. It means believing that he is capable of doing immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, Ephesians 3:20, and that he is always working for our good, even when circumstances seem difficult or challenging. When we have this kind of faith, we are able to approach Jesus with confidence and boldness, knowing that he is a loving and generous God who desires to bless and empower us. Another key aspect of receiving power from Jesus is to align our desires and actions with his will. This means seeking to understand his plans and purposes for our lives, and striving to live in accordance with his teachings and principles. As we do so, we will find that our prayers become more effective, and that God is more willing to grant us the desires of our hearts. This is because our prayers are no longer self-centered or driven by our own selfish desires, but are instead focused on advancing God's kingdom and bringing glory to his name. In addition to faith and alignment with God's will, we must also be willing to take risks and step out in obedience to Jesus' commands. This can be a challenging and uncomfortable process, as it often requires us to venture into unfamiliar territory and trust in God's provision and protection. However, it is in these moments of obedience that we often experience the greatest breakthroughs and blessings, as God pours out his power and favor upon us. The story of the Apostle Peter is a great example of this. When Jesus called Peter to come to him on the water, Peter was faced with a daunting and seemingly impossible task. However, as he stepped out in obedience to Jesus' command, he experienced a miraculous display of God's power and was able to walk on the water alongside Jesus. Matthew 14:28-33. This story illustrates the principle that when we trust in Jesus and obey his commands, he is able to empower us to achieve great things, even when they seem impossible or beyond our capabilities. Finally, it's worth noting that the power of Jesus is not limited to grand or spectacular accomplishments. Rather, it is often manifested in the everyday, mundane aspects of our lives. It is the power to love and forgive others, to overcome anxiety and fear, and to live with joy and purpose in the midst of challenging circumstances. As we seek to tap into this power, we will find that our lives are transformed in profound and lasting ways, and that we are able to make a meaningful impact on the world around us. In conclusion, Jesus' promise to give believers the power to do anything is a real and tangible reality that is available to all who trust in him. As we deepen our faith, align our desires with his will, take risks in obedience to his commands, and seek to live out our daily lives in dependence on his power, we will find that we are able to achieve great things and make a lasting impact on the world. Whether we are facing seemingly insurmountable challenges or simply seeking to live with greater purpose and joy, Jesus stands ready to empower us and to pour out his limitless power and potential upon us.